let's proceed to our next speaker. I would like to introduce to you Artem Mogilin from Sber. It's on SberHappyScore, how to use AI to build and digitize a customer satisfaction management system. Over to you, players. Yes, Artem. Yes, hello, dear colleagues. Alexei, thanks a lot for your introduction. I would like to begin. Well, maybe no need to introduce Sber, because you know well the business we are in. I'm happy to speak at that event of a large scale, and my presentation would be on how to digitize customer satisfaction system, how to manage it. And I'm in customer relations for 10 years in telecom and in banking, so I know a little bit about customer satisfaction. So let's begin with the basic concept. What is customer satisfaction and why it is important? Customer satisfaction is a measurement that determines how well a company, its products or services meet customer expectations. Why is it important? Because satisfied customers are a source of growth. So a retention of 5% of customers can lead to a growth in income for 25%. And in Microsoft's research shows that 61% of customers switch to another brand due to poor customer service. And satisfied and loyal customers attract new customers. So Nielsen research shows that 92% of clients believe in advice they get from their friends. Well, maybe you noticed it yourself. On social media, your friends would ask, so what would you recommend when they have to buy something new or use a certain service for the first time? Also, here at the right, you see quotations from respected people, Ritz-Carlton and others, Steve Jobs. And you know, how to measure customer satisfaction. We realize it is important, but how can we do it? How to understand the customer satisfaction, how to digitize it? The thing everyone begins with is when the customer starts to tell he's not happy, and he starts to contact the company, the organization, with his question. So it's like a reactive approach when the client gives us feedback after some experience. The second approach is proactive. We would ask client ourselves whether the client is satisfied. So the proactive way of getting information. We ask the client before he's really upset, and we would ask him what action the client would take. Deny the services or move to another service provider. So here you see the evolution of Sberbank in customer satisfaction. So we started a study for evaluating experience customer got when receiving a product or a service, and also we started to measure standards of how employees work in the organization. So the approach was not very efficient. When we realized the resources were exhausted, we started to develop feedback-based approaches. We used CSI, Customer Satisfaction Index, and NPS, just to benchmark the level of loyalty in the market. For NPS, we worked for some period of time, and we started to think on where we should be moving to. First of all, some words about survey methods. NPS and SCI, as I said, they are popular in other business areas. Let's begin with the NPS. We have two types, NPS for banking and NPS benchmark. It's actually the client's loyalty index, which indicates whether a customer would be happy to recommend a service or a product. We use calling technologies based on robotics. Alexei mentioned it in his previous presentation, and 50% of voice service go through our client contact service. So it's sufficient to use robotics here because the speech synthesis is at a high level, and the clients are happy to reply questions from the robot. They understand. Robot understand and can maintain the conversation. The next index, customer satisfaction index, is based on feedback from a number of contact points when a client visited the office or made a payment or took action in the banking application, like making a transaction. We have over 700 triggers for 22 products and 11 channels. And here on the slide, you see how it looks like on SMS, web, and our Sber Bank online bank, where push messages could be used, or a message at the final page when some transaction was made. I mentioned survey matrices. So here you can see the way we use them. The bank use NPS as a strategic indicator we use for benchmarking. NPS also track the customer loyalty to bank and ecosystem services. SCI is used as an operation service, and it helps us for the tactics. And at the foundation of this pyramid, we have operational metrics, detailed analysis of products, different funnels for the products that allow us to understand what's going wrong for the client. So they don't cover the entire customer base, but different segments. Also, a client can deny the survey, and there are some factors that can impact the evaluation. So that's why many companies think on new indexes. So on the slide, you see that many famous companies use their own metrics, like Facebook uses Care About Us. Like the main question in the survey is, would you agree that FB cares about you? And there is a different approach with high-tech companies that customer data is used in this survey to predict the customer behavior. For instance, as for mobile operators, they use customer satisfaction index and per service per user metrics. Or, for instance, Google uses an individual metrics with analysis of feedback received from the survey and analysis of client behavior. Sberbank is now a big high-tech company for many years. We care about our customers, and we investigate new opportunities for understanding our clients better. And we started to develop our own metrics, SberHappyScore. It's a combination of different indexes we get from the client based on survey, complaints, and weights are determined by AI models. AI predicts happy and unhappy customers based on parameters which are included into the model and the target we offer for the model. This tool allows us to calculate SberHappyScore for most of proactive clients, and it's close to real time with the delay of only 15 minutes. And we can split the statistics to realize whether the client is happy. So in this case, you see the happiness of a client is 72%, and you see where what channels make the client happy, and we can realize what to do to improve the customer satisfaction. And we use 100% of data accessible at the moment, like from the angle of 360 degrees. And how do we calculate SberHappyScore? The first thing you need to do, you need to take a channel the client uses. So it can be a survey where we see the customer track for the product. We identify the key points. We do this systemic analysis, taking data from banks' databases, and they can be data on transactions, complaints, facts about blocking. There can be many factors, and we need to select the target. We can choose different variables: CSI, share of the wallet, churn, and so on. Then we would create AI model, shortlisting the data. At the end of the day, we got the SHS scoring card, which has like Gini index of 58% in case of many companies. Then once we get the indicator, we can embed the index into a CX management system. So here we see the characteristics we collect to understand customer satisfaction. I don't like to repeat them. They are all integrated into SberHappyScore, and we use a number of surveys for more insights. And then there is a centralized process for managing customer satisfaction. So we use a system we call voice of the customer, where we store data on whether the customer is happy about services. And then we analyze key clients' problems. And we have three exits, three takeaway. When we know customer satisfaction based on feedback, we can improve our services. We also use backlog scoring for service and product improvements. We use data that are individual for each customer. So we use a number of tools informing gratitude or complimentary gifts. The system is based on recommendation. It matches the best moment in time for each customer to contribute to the improvement of SberHappyScore. Or, for instance, in a certain point of time, we understand that we need to inform a customer. We realize that the client has SberHappyScore, that he is or she is loyal, and then we share this information with the with our team that works in sales and with customer service. As for complimentary gifts, we have a predictive gift for waiting in a queue. So sometimes it can prevent complaints from the customer. It was a pilot, project. The results were good. You see the uplift of CSI and uplift of SberHappyScore. The second pilot is matching complementary gifts for our customers. So if a customer is fond of movies, we can offer a promo code for OCO, which is our from our ecosystem. If a customer uses taxi a lot, so we will give him a code for a taxi. And there is a system that allows us to improve results. So with complementary gifts, we get higher uplifts for activation, which is used for promoting products within our ecosystem. If we would talk about the SberHappyScore as itself, we are delivering some pilot projects with actions and events based on scorecards with SberHappy score, and pilots are launched in 4 channels. We will have the results before the end of this year. After we evaluate them, we plan to deploy them in 2022. I'm done with this. Many thanks for your attention. If you have questions, feel free to contact me, and you see my contacts on this slide. Artem, thank you very much. It is a really interesting presentation. Now, as a Sberbank client, as many of our participants would know, and maybe they will think that Sber keeps gathering information about them on whether they are satisfied. Well, it was good for my vision of the world. It enriched it. And I would like to ask, in terms of how you scale SberHappyScore, what is the role of CSI, churn, and other metrics? Because, of course, you need to take a decision about a target, or do you plan to actually promote all the components to get the picture? A good question. For every product and for every channel, you have either individual target or a combination of targets. If you would take a service in premium segment for Sberbank, if you take CSI, actually the range is not that big, and the target of CSI can be easily predicted. However, it's an example of one channel where CSI actually is not that efficient. Or you can measure the wallet share that shows whether the customer likes using the service or likes the product, and actually the client votes with his money, spending more money from his wallet. And it's a question on what is the service or product we do it for. Okay, thank you.